Hey, what's going down, Eagles fans? It's your boy Dre, aka Dre Diesel. Always reporting on these Eagles from sunny California, man. Welcome to the Cali Eagles podcast. We got some good news for you guys today. There's a lot of mystery going on behind some of the positions that we have on the team, man. And I really want to get into it. Starting out with linebacker, we can look at the defensive tackle position as well and also the tight end position. So that's some of the things I want to look at, along with some other news that we got going on. Man, we got 68 Jordan Mailata days until the kickoff of the 2024 NFL season. And man, I am just bored as hell. There is nothing going on. Basketball's over, hockey's over, baseball. If you watch baseball, good on you. Man, my team ain't doing too good, and I'm not really big on baseball, so this is the lonely time right now. This is the time of mad speculation. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, notificate your face, and get these good videos, man. This is a Cali Eagles podcast, man. Let's go. All right, guys. So, like I'm saying, man, this is like the time of year in sports when everything goes quiet. There's just nothing but speculate, speculate, speculate all over the place. And not a lot of sports news to quench our competitive fire, so to speak. One thing, though, that we did get that just dropped today, thank goodness I caught it before I started the video, was we got the dates for the Kelly Green jerseys, guys. Looks like it's going to be against the Jaguars and then week 17. Your boy's going to be there too. I'm going to have to bring my best Kelly Green stuff. Week 17, of course, at home versus Dallas. You got to have the Kelly Greens on that day. So I'm so excited for this, man. And that's some good news that we did get. We are wearing Kelly Green this year. It's not if, it was when, and now we know. Okay, also this week, Jason Kelsey and his brother just getting crazy. Actually, I'm not sure how much Travis is involved in the beer bash, but Jason Kelsey 100% is. And man, I'm loving what these guys do every year. This beer bash is hilarious, man. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, they got the highlights on the New Heights X account, and there's some fun stuff. I really hope that they come out with some YouTube videos of the whole event later on. I'd love to see how the whole thing went. But as far as I could tell, they had some good competition there. They had the Blades of Fury. They had some pirate looking dudes, including Jason Kelsey. They had another team called Santa's Revenge and some other guys. Apparently, a lot of people showed out for this event, and it looked like a lot of fun. Um, in the end, it sounds like a couple of scruffy looking beer battlers won the day by the name of Santa's Revenge, and good on them. It looked like they put their time in and practiced well, and that's a good win by the Santa's Revenge. Man, that stuff's hilarious. I love that. All right. Then also we got Devontae Smith's softball game going down. Apparently, this is the third year that he's been doing this. And, I got to love what my guys do for their community. This one in particular is in support of the Lehigh Valley part of Pennsylvania. A lot of Eagles fans there, a lot of respect, and a lot of support for that area by the celebrities. Devontae Smith and Friends softball game. Great show out. Looks like a wonderful roster. Sounds like T.O. will be there. Some of your familiar faces that you guys all know. Some familiar faces that have gone to sunnier shores for themselves, like Jalen Rager, Quez Watkins, and the like. but it's all for fun, and apparently it's also for the kids and autism awareness, as I believe the proceeds go to the Eagles Foundation for Autism. So this is another one where I'm like, I hope that they release something on YouTube. I imagine that's not big enough that they got a TV deal yet for it, but hopefully something gets released on YouTube afterwards so we can enjoy it at home as well at a later date. Okay, so yeah, let's get into some of these positions, man. Across the team, overall, we're pretty much set in a lot of positions, but there's a couple that are still lingering. There's a couple that bring up a lot of speculation in our brains during this downtime of no sports, right? Well, baseball, but and there's a lot of things that can go on with idle time in our heads that make us just go cuckoo. And one of those things is our team where we're not doing so well, especially at the backup positions. Overall, our starting lineup looks solid, you know, and I'd like to go over it a little bit, right? So starting with the offense, we're good at wide receiver. Yeah, there's a little question about wide receiver 3, but I say we have 2 or 3 guys ready to step in there right now. No mystery who these guys are. Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith, and Paris Campbell, of course, is the leading candidate for the job, and I think he's going to do wonderful there. No worries about that position at all. Running back, we're solid behind him. I'm not worried about it. Kenneth Gainwell has done his thing, and we got 2 solid rookies we just brought in. We're good there. Quarterback, been good there, real good there. Third round pick on the backup, we're good. Cross the line, Jurgens moves over, not a worry at all. Excuse me, Tyler Steen bumps up. He played well in that position. I don't have a problem with that at all. And it looks like we've got some solid backups there. I really don't have any issues with the guard position per se as a backup spot. I think that we're going to have a guy come in there and definitely step up and play that backup guard position for us. We've always had a guy that had been able to step in, and we got Stout there. So there's really no cause for concern. Tyler Steen's our guy there, and we're just going to roll with it. The only spot that I really have an issue with is the tight end on offense. And that's one of the most mysterious parts of our offense right now because we got Goddard, and he's great. He's a be all, do all, run block, pass catch. What do you need? He's going to be there to do it for you. But then we got to look at his stuff, man, and we see that he's missed some games. So who's going to step in, or who's going to be that second tight end when we need to run a 2 tight end set? And this one is a big mystery for us, man. I took a lot of time looking at Jack Stahl and Calcaterra, and one thing I found is that Stahl was one of the biggest run blockers for us during his span here. Calcaterra was more a pass catching tight end. I don't know if that was just by design or by opportunity, but Stahl by far had a lot more run plays than he did passing plays, and now he's gone. And then I wanted to take a look a little further at some of our tight ends and see exactly what those guys were able to do as far as routes run versus snaps. Total snaps versus routes run. And I got to tell you guys, I really did try and take a look at CJ Uzama, got his name right this time, Albert O, and I ain't trying that name, and EJ Jenkins. And I got to tell you guys, man, there is no information. These guys, even when they did play, played sparingly. I'm not even going to waste my time on trying to cut and paste all that information because there's just not anything there to see. We just don't know. As far as I know, CJ Uzama, God, I can't get that right. He was catching a lot of passes for the Bengals when he was there. The Jets, it appears that he didn't get a lot of time there catching balls and was out a lot. And then of course Albert O, you know, great, great traits, just no production, not able to get on the field for this or that reason. And, something there tells me that maybe there's something wrong in the run blocking position part of his game. Maybe he's not very good at run blocking, so he's not able to get on the field. It's just like a running back. If he can't block for his quarterback during passing plays, he's less likely to spend more time on the field. So it's the same thing with the tight ends. So without being able to get a lot of information on those tight ends, I decided to delve in a little deeper on our guy from Tennessee that we just got, undrafted free agent, McCallan Castles from Tennessee Volunteers, undrafted free agent that we signed. And, overall, I was taking a look at this guy's stuff, and he actually looks pretty good. He's got some issues as far as finishing plays, but the upside with this guy looks really awesome. He was actually projected to be a third round player, a third round pick, and apparently that didn't happen for whatever reason, right? Um, but let's just take a look at what Patrick Brown from Go Vols 24/7 here said. He said that in his analysis, he said that Castles is a 24-year-old tight end prospect who traits stand out more than his production. His combination of size and athleticism is typically sought after by NFL teams who employ multiple tight end sets. His tape shows that he's clearly capable of becoming a more productive pass catcher with the right team. He's versatile enough to line up all over the field and might have enough toughness and technique to line up in line when needed. His ball skills need work, and he must learn to play to his size against crowding coverage. Castles projects as a day 3 pick with upside. Then his top strengths: possesses the traits needed for full field alignment, has athletic talent for a robust route tree, smooth hips getting in and out of pattern breaks, shows ability to run with power and elusiveness after the catch, adequate run blocking tools and demeanor, gets into first contact with bend and leverage. So it sounds like prototypically this guy has all the traits in the world that we would need. If you take a look at this little tape I've got here, man, the guy's got the size. He does move fairly well. He's a little rigid, and apparently he just needs to finish the play when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, specifically on run blocking. But those are highly teachable things that can happen at the NFL level. They get their hands on him. The tight end coaches work with him. And if you take a look at this guy, I mean, he's a big dude. He's a Gronk looking guy. And this guy could actually possibly get a roster spot, I think, if he can establish himself in the run game as a solid run blocker. So I'm excited with this kid and see what he could do. But again, the tight end spot, man, it's a huge mystery right now. One of those things that won't be resolved until we start training camp. And then let's jump to the defensive side of the ball, right? I'm going to go over the rest right now. That we're solid on. And we'll start with the cornerback position. I feel that we're real solid there. I mean, you could go any kind of ways. Go ahead and trade Slay. We still got Quinion. We still got DeJean. We still got Rogers. We still got Kelly Ringo. We still got who else can play? If CJ needs to bump up, we can play him. We are solid at the corner position right now. The way I see it panning out, Slay, Isaiah, Maddox, and then of course in the safety spot we got CJ and Reed, and that's the way it's looking right now. If you ask me though, the way I'd like to see it, the way I want to see it, is Slay and Quinion with Isaiah Rogers in the slot and Cooper DeJean playing opposite CJ GJ at safety. That's how I would want to line them up. But right now, these guys are rookies. Let's let them get into training camp and figure that out. And then the linebacker position. Now, with the linebacker position, this has got to be the most mysterious of all positions that we have. And I want to say that this position, that the linebacker position or the defensive tackle position are probably one of the biggest spots where we might make an addition during training camp. Okay, so let's take a look at the linebacker position right now. What I did is I went ahead and I looked at the season stats from 2023 for six guys. Three of our guys, Morrow, Cunningham, and Dean. And then I took a look at Zach Bond, Devin White, and Oren Burks. Okay. And the reason why I include Oren Burks here, even though he didn't get a lot of playing time as well as Zach Bond, is because those two guys are highly productive guys. And I really like Oren Burks. I mean, the guy hasn't had a chance, and he played with giants there at the 49ers organization, man. I mean, who you're hard pressed to get on the field if you've got Greenlaw and Warner, who are top 10 linebackers in the entire league, both of them, you know? So what this guy has to offer is probably a lot, and it just hasn't been shown. And when we take a look at the stats here, you can kind of see that the dude does have some production. Okay, so the first thing I looked at was just total defensive stats. This is 2023, right? And then we look into the number of games played. Of course, N'Kobe Dean got a hit there. Zach Cunningham, he was only in for 10 games. Devin White played 13 of 14 games possible. Looking at this list, not one of them played 17 games. So off the top, that's a little concerning, right? So then we look at the interceptions. Zach Bond got himself one. Oren Burks got himself one. Devin White got himself two. So these guys are active in pass coverage, it would seem. Our guys, none. No interceptions. Passes defended. Devin White was six, uh, the most out of all of them. Then Nicholas Morrow was productive with five passes batted down. Zach Cunningham comes in with four, you know. And then, this kind of all does relate to the amount of games played. The fact that Zach Bond only started 6 games, even though he appeared in 17 and got two, and then Oren Burks, he appeared or he was suited up for 15 games, started five, and got one. That's good. That's good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's good activity for the least amount of reps. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, those are good numbers there. Um, and then we've got forced fumbles. Nicholas Morrow was the only one there, active with the hands. Uh, and then we just move down the line here, zeros, zero, zeros for the most part. Um, and then we get into tackles, right? So I like to see that Devin White and Zach Cunningham both started 13 games and have roughly the same amount of tackles. Um, and then Nicholas Morrow uh, appears to have started just as much and right around the same tackles. So, we're maintaining that production with Devin White in there. But then the tackles fall off. And of course, I want to say that it does have to do with how many reps these guys got. But if you take a look at it, like Oren Burks only started 5 games and had 46 combo tackles. 46. How many did Zach Bond have? More starts, only 30 tackles, less solo tackles. Um, that's a big question mark there too. I don't know exactly what they see in Zach Bond over Oren Burks, but let's delve into it a little bit further. So the next one I want to look at is the advanced defense statistics. And in the advanced defense, we break it down into pass coverage, pass rush, and tackles. So in pass coverage, if you take a look down the line here, that your completion percentage um, is the main number here, I think, that you want to look at, right? So the lowest number being Devin White, Nicholas Morrow, and Devin White is right there too. So again, maintaining that same production from last year with Morrow's production as Devin White, but I do feel like Devin White will have a better season this year. He had a down season and he played up to probably Nicholas Morrow's best season. So I'm not too concerned with that. But then we take a look at Zach Bond. Um, this man was targeted 11 times and allowed 10 completions for a completion percentage of 90.9%. So is this guy good in pass coverage? These numbers don't tell me that at all. And also, if you take a look, he allowed 2 touchdowns as well. But then you take a look at Oren Burks, 68.2%, 0 touchdowns. And that number coincides with and is lower than Zach Cunningham um, or any of the other ones besides Morrow and White. So again, it looks like Oren Burks is the better linebacker here. And then let's scoot down the line a little bit further, right? I'm not sure what the DADOT is. I got to get my information on that. But then we got pass rush blitz. Okay. Oren Burks only blitzed 8 times. So apparently, maybe he's actually is a better in coverage linebacker. Um, 75 times for White. So White definitely likes to rush the passer. It would appear that the numbers are pretty equal across the board for the other guys, um, with Devin White being the outstanding guy. And I look forward to seeing that. It'd be nice to see the off ball Mike linebacker coming hit with his head down and sneaking through the line and getting some sacks as well. And for those blitzes, he was able to get himself 2.5 sacks, which is right in line with what Nicholas Morrow was supposed to do. And again, like I said, this was a down year for Devin White, so we expect a lot better from at least Devin White. So I mean, overall, if you take a look at these stats, what it tells me is that for on paper anyway, Oren Burks is the better guy over Zach Bond. But like I said, this mystery definitely will play out. So I'm not sure what exactly New Orleans was doing with Zach Bond or what our plans are with Zach Bond. But hopefully he has progressed and will show some better stuff here because this mystery, I just don't know what to say. Ultimately, if it's me, I'm putting in Oren Burks and letting it figure out. But who knows what they're doing in the OTAs and minicamp too? Maybe they're just throwing guys in to see how they do. Maybe none of these guys will be starters. Who knows? You know, they could just be feeling guys out, throwing guys, you know, catfishing us, showing us one thing and giving us another. Who knows? But that linebacker, man, I want to say is probably the biggest spot of concern, the biggest mystery on this team. And I know for sure if somebody does not develop early, that we will get another guy in here, whether it be bringing back a Morrow or a Cunningham or even getting a better guy in here. But I can almost guarantee that position will be addressed early if we see any issues there. All right, so the next one I want to get into is the defensive tackle. This is another big mystery, that leaves us kind of clueless on what could happen, right? Because we got this one guy, right, named Jordan Davis, and he's a big baller bruiser, right? And then on the outsides of him, we got Milton Williams and we got Jalen Carter. These three are a menace. Huge, great, number 3 ranked overall, I think, defensive tackle position, defensive line in the NFL per source. I can't remember which one I saw, but they're saying that we're like ranked number 3 in the NFL as far as our defensive line goes. And when it comes to the backup position of the defensive tackle, there's some spots that I'm not really concerned about, and that's the 2 end pieces. We got a Jomo, and we got a guy named Thomas Booker that has come in and he can play the outside from Houston. He's a nice sized guy and has some potential. And then we've got Marlon T, right? Those 3 guys are solid, you know, and I'm not worried about those end pieces. I'm worried about that nose tackle position. And one guy that we did bring in was a guy named PJ Mustafa, and he is a huge mystery. So I took a little deeper dive into what he's done. Honestly, I mean, the guy has not really shown anything yet. He was injured coming out of college, went was supposed to be a higher draft pick but got injured. Then went undrafted to the Broncos, traded in week 13, didn't play week 14, was inactive for New Orleans, and then did come in, played no more than 28% of the plays in that game against the Rams. He did have 3 assist tackles. Uh, and then at Tampa, he did have 1 tackle and 1 solo tackle. But as you can see, the dude didn't play very much, even for New Orleans. And now New Orleans has traded him to us, or we picked him up. I'm not sure what. This guy is a bigger guy, pushing 320. As a small, solid frame, would be nice to plug in the middle if the guy can produce. But as of right now, we have no idea what this guy can do. All we know is that he was injured, and now 2 teams have passed up on him. One team has actually let him start some games and passed up on him. So I don't know what that tells you guys, but to me, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. I do feel like Clint Hurt can get the best out of his guys. He seems like a real good professional guy. If he has his hands on this kid, possibly he might be able to do something with him. But, besides PJ Mustafa guys, I don't see anybody else playing that spot. We will be light in the ass at nose tackle if we go ahead and start somebody else. Do I think maybe Marlon T or a Jomo could fit in there? Yes. I think it would be fine. I think it would plug the holes a little bit, but I do believe that without Jordan Davis in there, we will be more susceptible to runs up the middle in that 3-4 defense. So another spot, very mysterious, could be addressed early in training camp if Clint Hurt or the defensive staff do not see good production out of that nose tackle spot behind Jordan Davis, and maybe even with Jordan Davis in there. I mean, come on, what can we even say about Jordan Davis? You know, um, it's a big mystery right now and a good one to take a look at. All right, guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you like, please subscribe, notificate your face. Welcome to the speculation part of the season. Guys, we only got 25 LaShawn McCoy days till training camp. Stick it out the best you can, guys. Just a little bit over 3 weeks. Don't go crazy. Keep yourself busy. Enjoy your summer times out there. It's been Dre, aka Dre Diesel. This is the Cali Eagles podcast. Thanks for meeting me at the door. We'll catch you on the next one.